Good to go. Awesome. All right. Well, welcome traders. I hope everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Going through some questions here. Bill says we've had a great trading month. We have had a great trading month. It's been a nice 2015 so far. Even this week, which has kind of been one of our poorest weeks, we're still up I believe about 80 pips. We've been spoiled a little bit. A lot of bit. We've been spoiled. We're so used to getting those. We're so used to getting those big 200 pip weeks, 300 pip weeks. Seems like just the lousy 80 pips is. I'm not going to. I'm not going to complain about that at all. But yeah, it's been a great trading month. Last trading day of February here. So we're going to go ahead and get things started. Try not to give too much back today, which is kind of our theme every Friday. Whenever we're up for the week, we don't want to make any stupid decisions to give back to the market. That's for sure. Where do I start here? Let me first pull up our. Sorry, a little discombobulated. Yeah, speaking of the weekend, I'm a little torn as far as this weekend goes because tonight is date night with the wife, and I agreed we're going to go out to dinner, but I agreed to go see 50 Shades of Grey. So I'm a little torn about that one. I'm not sure. I hope it scores me some points by going and seeing it, but a little torn about going and seeing the, what do they call it, housewife porn movie. So we'll see how that goes. I actually wanted to go see American Sniper, and 50 Shades of Grey won out. So, all right. Well, let's get into. Let me start off. We'll do a quick review of some trades from this week. Well, we can start off with this euro dollar. This didn't execute right in here, but we still had some. We still had a large drop down. We really did we do like shorting the euro whenever it's into any type of retracement area. So when we look at the euro, I mean, it's just been, we had a huge precipitous move to the downside. A lot of dollar strength driving the market yesterday. We had we were looking for it to come back up. We had seen this little A, this B, and I really, because those 78.6% retracements have been doing so well for us, we really like the idea of shorting it if it got up to that 78.6 level again, much like it did over here, especially with a nice little ABC retracement. It didn't do that. It actually just made this huge move to the downside yesterday. Huge move, 200 some points, almost damn near looked like it was going to go 300 points. We'll be keeping an eye out on the euro today during class. That's one that, here I'm going to go ahead and change this over to a 5-minute chart, because one thing we'll be looking out for in class today, you see how this is made. The euro has recovered a bit. You see how it's been making this nice little trend line here. Keep an eye out on euro dollar right up in here. I'm going to keep it up on the pair view because, it's already, look at the 1 hour total, still negative 10. If we go to something like total view, here, let me pull up total view real quick. The euro is obviously still one of the dogs of the market, as is the Swiss, sitting here as one of the dogs of the market down in here. We like it when we have our normal, usual suspects down here near the bottom, kind of acting as our wimpy kids in the schoolyard. So dollar was king yesterday. It really drove a lot of strength in the market. We got the pound, euro, New Zealand, Aussie, Swiss, all down here. The Swiss is very telling right in here. I actually have a long position on it right now, added to my position actually this morning on the Swiss going long. I'll get into that trade here in just a second. But we see the euro has been extremely weak in the last 24 hours. So keep an eye out on these, the 1 hour totals or the 5-minute totals, what we're going to be looking out for on the euro. And I'll kind of step this out for you as we go through, but I want to see it break this trend line right in through here. You see it's almost making a double top in through here. If we can get a break, a nice little break below this trend line, You can call it a trend line, you can call it a horizontal support level, but we have this on a 5-minute chart over in here. If we start to see this thing roll down, we're going to go ahead and take a shot at taking a short position on euro dollar today. That'll be one of our shorter term trade scenarios here. So we got that working for us, which is nice. Going through some other trades from this week, from Wednesday's class, buying momentum breaks on dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss has been a bit of a frustrating one, but I'm not going to get too frustrated with this because the Swiss has obviously treated us very well in the past. We can see I showed you the total view where we can see that the Swiss has been extremely weak over the last 24 hours. Check this out here on the Swiss. Let me zoom in a little bit on this chart. We didn't necessarily get that momentum break until actually yesterday. You know, we got our momentum break right over in here where it went up, and I had set this up. You can see where my take profit was. I had set this up as a trade yesterday where I had one lot on dollar Swiss, and I was looking for a nice little 80 pip move to the upside. It got within it got within about 5 points, 5 pips of my take profit levels, and then decided to come back down on me. Looking at my trades right now on dollar Swiss, here's the one lot I have on where I'm down about 24 pips right down in here as of the current levels. You can see my stop is right down below these lows. This morning it came down and made this, I saw it coming down and making a retracement where when I'm looking to trade a currency aggressively, when it gets down into these retracement zones, I'm looking to be a buyer. I added to my position. You can see I have another one lotter on right in here where I'm down only about 6 pips right now because the GDP report came out. Preliminary GDP came out this morning. Came out better than expected at 2.2%. This is actually a little bit better, a lot better, and a nice little sign for the market here because we know that Miss Yellen is looking for that target inflation rate to be above 2% in order for them to raise interest rates. This makes it all the more likely that at the very least, when it comes to our Fed meeting coming up in March, that we're going to get, at the very least, we're going to get patience removed from the verbiage. So in this case, you know, this is a good sign for the dollar. All this does is kind of reconfirm it confirms dollar strength. With this nice little retracement down here on the dollar Swiss that we've gotten, it's coming down a bit right now. I still have, you know, 2 lots on dollar Swiss. You can see both these positions right down in here where I've added to the position, looking for it to come back to the upside. Anytime we get significant retracements in either the euro or the Swiss, we look for those for opportunities to get into a position. So that's a position that I'm in right now. Looking at this, when you look at dollar Swiss, let me just kind of blow this up for you a little bit. 2 ways to approach dollar Swiss today, and there was 2 ways that I was looking at it. I just saw how dramatically it was coming up. It actually had a nice little buy-in balance forming there on the 1 hour and 5 minute totals, which has since kind of come down a bit. But if you're looking to get into shorter term positions, much like on the euro dollar, how we're looking to take short positions, let's check that real quick. I'm seeing the imbalances going down further. Much like euro dollar, we're looking to take short positions if it breaks through this little trend line here to the downside. Dollar Swiss, we're looking for much the same. If you want to be a little bit more cautious in the way you approach this, if you want to look, I saw this kind of breaking up above this trend line. It was coming off the 78.6% retracement levels. Here, I can delete this over here, and look to be a nice little buy candidate here. I really still do like this Swiss to the upside here. Even though it is coming down right now, I think this gives us opportunities. If you're kind of a little bit more cautious, I know how hard it is a lot of times for you to buy things in a, you know, when the trend is showing, you know, a big red candle like that. If you start to see it breaking above this trend line, which that's what I did, it started to show a nice little buy imbalance, and it was breaking through this trend line right in here. if you'd like, what you can do is just, if you want to be a little bit more patient, keep an eye on these 5-minute totals and the 1-hour totals. If you see a large shift start to take place this morning on the 1-hour and 5-minute totals, and you see it start to break this trend line, I would say don't hesitate to go long on this. So we can actually put in a trade scenario as far as this one goes. I'm already long. I'm long 2 lots on dollar Swiss right now. But your buy entry, if you see it go to a plus 20 on 5-minute totals and a break of the trend line, I'm obviously trading this a bit more aggressive. But if you see this situation occur, so we're looking at the 5-minute totals, or if it's at a plus 5 or more on the 1-hour totals, I would say don't hesitate to look for a nice buy entry on this. Put your stop right below this low. So your stop, well, your stop would be the same as mine is right now. So your stop would be 0.94479. Stop 0.94479. Phil says it's right at the 95 level. Could we use a break of this as an alternative? Yes, if you wanted to look at for a break above the 95 level as an alternative, you could look for that. 95 level, it's sitting here skimming right at that level, and that's the level that it had a hard time breaching over here. The 95, it hasn't presented as large of a resistance barrier as I thought it might. It did have a hard time breaking up through here, but this trend line, I think if it just breaks the trend line, it's not going to have that hard of a time going up. One thing to be cautious of today is dollar strength. Once again, now that we're in the midst of the U.S. session, look out for some dollar strength today. Be very cautious of trading anything against dollar strength, I would say. We do have some situations where we might go long the dollar, but I would say you can look for a break of the 9,500. Although I think that a break through this trend line, a nice sustained break, and if we're getting a large shift here on the imbalances, would be good enough to take a long position. Like I said, I'm already short based on the fact that it did make a nice shift in the totals down in here. It's just since consolidated. And since we look at the Swiss a lot, whenever it does consolidate, it can tend to be a little, it can tend to have large imbalances within these consolidation zones to the up and down side. But we like it whenever it has a nice buy-in balance when it's breaking through a resistance level. Limit, you can look for a limit of 1-to-1 risk reward. Since we are coming off a 78.6 level, what I'll probably do is I'll look for a 1-to-1 risk reward on one of my lots as it's coming up, since I've taken that second position, and then I'm going to keep my second lot open to see if it can break through up into these highs. Or I'll get stopped out. That's also a possibility. Getting the shaft is also a possibility. It came really close. It came within like a pip of my stop order earlier. Came really close to stopping me out earlier, to where I just I had kind of written the trade off until the preliminary GDP came out and bounced it off and showed a lot of buying pressure on the dollar. So we'll just change that chart around a little bit. And euro dollar, let's go ahead and go back to that one, because I want to go ahead and we can kind of do both. So we can do both right now. We can look for what our other trading opportunities are also. So let me go in here and, oh, there we are. That's what we've been looking for. Crap, sorry. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do one lot here on the euro dollar. See, it's breaking through right now. I'm just going to put this in for one. I'm going to do just a one lotter on this since I'm already long dollar Swiss. I'm going to go ahead and sell one lot. Should be in there unless it's also possible that I still have my beta up, and I do. Crap. All right. Put my stop right up above this high. The high right in here. I'm just going to look for a quick one or so, 1.2317. And let me go in here. And how much am I risking? I'm risking 22 pips, 22.3 pips. Let's see if we can get a break below this 112 level. So I'm going to put my 22.3 pips as the risk. I'm just going to look for a quick little one-to-one risk reward. I'm only doing one lot because I already longed two on the dollar Swiss, so being a little bit more cautious here. Showing a nice little selling balance, 0.1211. 22.3 pips, so 11871. Modify that. Could have probably already hit a take profit if I was paying attention, but breaking through that trend line is something that I was waiting for, and I'm not real worried about the 112 level because I think that the dollar strength could rule the day today. So we'll put that off to the side. I should probably open back up my PitView. There we go. There we go. Yeah, nice little selling balance there. We'll keep an eye on that one. We start to see it coming back up into this consolidation level. We might try to get out a little bit earlier, but right now we'll set that up as a one-to-one trade. This big red candle big red candle right in here should have been our entry actually, but we'll got in a little bit late. We'd be very close to a one-to-one trade there right now. So that's an existing trade. So we have a short on one lot of the euro dollar, just looking for a one-to-one risk reward with our stop right up above these highs, which is where we're wrong. So we'll keep that open for right now. If we see any large imbalance shifts start to occur, we might consider closing that one lot out. So there's the trade. That's the short-term trade we were looking for at the start of class. All right, moving on here. The other position that you see here, right down here, you see I have a dollar yen position on. Many of you saw me take this position yesterday on dollar yen. Dollar yen is another one to where we like trading the yen in either direction. In fact, the other day, here I can pull up the trades from the other day. I'm bouncing around a lot today, so if I'm going too fast, just say, hey, Steve, slow down. Let's see here, dollar yen, where was that? I'm sorry, that was actually from yesterday, so that wouldn't be in here. Dollar yen had a nice little 78.6% retracement right down in here. This is one that I was long actually on Wednesday during class. I actually hit a max profit on that trade we were in on Wednesday, but the other thing that we noticed was the fact that it made this nice little double bottom in through here and was starting to break out. And so I set up a one lot trade on dollar yen to see if I could just risk 80 pips to make a nice little 80 pip move here to go retest this resistance level, which is right below the 120 level. So far, it's been kind of consolidating back and forth. Right now, I'm going to kind of show you what I'm going to do here, because there's actually two potential trades here on dollar yen. One of them to continue on with our with the position that we have on. I'm up 13 pips right now on that dollar yen position. You can see I'm up 13 pips on that. A little bit more than that actually, because the yen, you're getting about an 80-cent pip value on the yen. But I'm going to kind of change the strategy here a little bit on the dollar yen as far as what I'm looking for, and I'm glad that I'm able to do this during class. One thing that we've seen here on dollar yen is that it's actually, here, let me delete this. It's actually making a nice little ABC type of formation coming up here, and you can see how it's kind of consolidating, but it's making a nice little ABC pattern here, which we would look at as being a nice little, a bullish Gartley formation, very close to being a bullish Gartley formation. But the other thing that we like about the yen is we like buying it when it's near the lows, and we like selling it if it gets near any type of resistance type of level. I'm going to change this trade around a little bit, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to be looking to be a seller on dollar yen if it comes up near this 78.6% retracement level. Now, the thing that might be weird on that for you is you may be looking at this saying, well, Steve, you're already long on this trade. Well, trading in either direction, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see this 78.6 level right here at 119.576. I'm going to change my stop loss and take profit levels to reflect a one-to-one risk-reward trade, because when it hits this 78.6, I'm actually going to be looking to short it to see if we can get a bounce off of there. So I'm going to put my take profit level right at that 78.6 level, 119.576. And I'm going to move my stop to actually be right below this low right down in here. This low is 119.095. So I'm going to modify that. And we're going to look for, so now I got a little, if I take this off, if I take this fib level off, you'll see that I now have it set up as just a one-to-one risk-reward trade. And as it approaches that 78.6 level, I'm going to take my profit off the table on dollar yen. As it approaches, if it gets to that 78.6 level, I'm going to take my profit off. And from there, what we're going to do is we're going to look to be sellers of dollar yen. And we'll see that if we can come up to this 78.6 level and we can still maintain like a -5 on the 1 hour totals, we're gonna look to short and put our stop above this high over here. We'll revisit that at the end of class, but I wanted to make you aware that I wanted to change that around. Initially, my stop was down here looking for a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. We took that as a market order during class. We have a nice little 20 pips in the trade right now. Dollar strength looks like it's coming back into play here today, so I think that puts us in a good position. So, in fact, we're actually up quite well right now. So, look to take your profit here. You can see the trade, how I change it around. So I just got that set up as just a one-to-one from the current price levels, and then we'll be looking to be sellers. We'll be looking to sell that thing. All right. So we'll keep an eye on that one too. All righty then. Switching gears here. Let me just go to a couple of other currency pairs here, and we'll probably spend a large amount of the class. Let me pull up dollar Swiss real quick. You see the dollar Swiss is at a plus 38, and it's starting to break that. Trend line. This is kind of getting to the point here to where you'd be looking to be a buyer. I'm already in the trade. I'm already a buyer on this. So if you're looking to be a buyer on dollar Swiss, you can wait for it to kind of peep through this or peek through this trend line right in through here. Sorry, I had it drawn a little ugly there, but if it peeks through this trend line, we're already looking at large buy imbalances occurring on dollar Swiss. 9,500 would be the alternative there also. So you can set that up as a 1-to-1 risk reward trade right now if you'd like. I'm already in the position off of kind of the bounce off that 78.6 level. Keep an eye on that one. And let's see here. Everything right now is looking pretty good, I guess. We got the market opening here in just a couple of minutes. Let me bring up, whoops, sorry about that. Let me bring up total view again here real quick. Kind of looking at the last 24 hours, Canadian has been actually going pretty strong as it's descended right down in through here. We actually, if we're still reviewing trades from this week, we actually had a pretty nice little trade on dollar Canadian from yesterday. We had a lot of consolidation occurring here. This is one thing that we were looking at here on dollar Canadian was the fact that it was dollar Canadian is another one that we really like trading in either direction. You see how dollar Canadian came down here to this 78.6 level. And here, let me go down in here. See this buy retracement? It was coming down to this 78.6 level. We were looking to buy it into this retracement zone if it went to a +5 or a +20. We are also kind of looking for a break through this trend line. I hit a trade on dollar CAD on this retracement. When it was coming down, it made this little consolidation right in through here, and it broke through the actual low of it. So as it was consolidating down in through here, all I did is really I just looked for, kind of a breakthrough for these levels. Right in here is when it really started going. It started going a little nuts here in total view, and in pair view it started showing nice little buy imbalances in through here. I had actually set this up as a 1-to-1 risk reward trade. We got into this one yesterday right in here on dollar CAD. In fact, where is that position? Yeah, dollar CAD right in here, 1.24591. Stop loss at 1.23853. Was able to make about 80 pips off that little break right in there. So that was a nice little, let's see, nice little it was about 78 pips, I believe. Let's see here, 1.24591. Like 70 pips. The pip value on dollar CAD is actually very low. One thing I'm looking at here right now on the Canadian, and let me kind of shift my chart up in here. Let me shift this dollar yen to dollar CAD right up in here. So I saw it coming down, and it started making this nice little consolidation. There's a lot of consolidation breaks happening right now, folks. When you look at even dollar Canadian, it's breaking into higher highs and higher lows. This almost looks like an A, a B, and a C starting to form to the upside on dollar CAD. You got to kind of like this right in here, the fact that it's breaking out to the upside. You got to like the dollar strength that goes along with that also. This might set us up here. It's breaking through the 2,500 level. We see the 5-minute totals and the 1-hour totals on the Canadian starting to make some nice little headway. This is another one that I was looking to possibly be a buyer. That 5-minute total just went to, we're sitting there right at the 2,500 level. What does a 5-minute chart look like on this? This is another one here on dollar Canadian where you got to like this to the upside. It's coming through this 2,500 level. We got a lot of breaks occurring today on a lot of the pairs. You know, let's do a quick one lotter on this one too. It already went to a plus 20. Let's see here. I was looking for it. It's another one that I was looking at this morning that I was looking for a break through that resistance level. And let's see here. Well, how would this set up? Let's see here. If we were to put a stop, let's say for just a short-term trade right below this low, dollar strength seems to be ruling the market today. Let's see here. Where's this low at? 0.24730. I don't want to get too crazy here on a Friday. No, I think this might be a nice little setup right in here if we were just looking for a nice little 30 pips. I'm going to go ahead and do one lot. I'm going to go ahead and buy this one at the market. And I'm going to put my stop right below this low right down in here, which is 1.24722. See how the totals are changing here? CAD could shift dramatically. 722. Let's just call it 728. That would be about 32 pips risking on there. I believe, yes, 32. So let's see if we can capture a quick 30 pips on this Canadian. 1.25. Call it 368. I don't want to get too crazy, but this Friday with those better than expected numbers, you know, we can conceivably see quite a bit of dollar strength coming in through here. That's what I'm looking for. We just made 20 pips on the euro dollar, by the way. So that just euro dollar, even though we got in a little late on euro, we made that 20 pips. So good job on that one. If it starts to retrace up at all, if we start to see any type of retracement coming back up here on the euro dollar, if you're looking for intraday trades, you know, we took 20 pips off the table, so don't be thinking that we're late to the party or anything. So if we see this one start to come back up and retrace at all, don't be afraid to potentially go short again on euro dollar on any type of retracement if you see these imbalances start to go back down. So what I mean by that is, I know a lot of you, we haven't done a lot of like intraday trading on euro dollar, but I'm sorry, not intraday trading, but intraday retracements. We haven't talked about them that often. But you see up here, if it starts to come back up and retrace back up here to the upside, you kind of have to like the idea of if this retraces at all, of looking to short once again on euro dollar if it retraces back up at all. If it comes back up and challenges these retracement zones. So if you're looking for other kind of intraday opportunities on euro today, you know, we already don't give 20 pips back to the market. That's not a bad little start to our little trading session here to getting a little 20 pips or so. And I went long on dollar Canadian because I saw one thing that made me kind of, if I go long on dollar Canadian for one lot looking for a quick 30 pips, worst case scenario is, because the pip value on dollar Canadian for me is only like 80 cents. Worst case scenario is I kind of give back, that same amount that we just made on euro. But I think dollar strength, look out for dollar strength today. Dollar's been looking strong. That GDP number is looking very strong. So we'll keep that retracement on. If we do see euro start to come back up, and if we see as it comes back up and retraces, if we do see it come back up, and if we see this come back up to a 5-minute total level of -20 and start to see it shift again, we'll look to be sellers again on euro dollar. Look to double dip, if you will. Where's dollar Canadian at? Dollar Swiss, by the way, you should be in that one at this point. I need to check and see if I need to close out part of my position here. Let's see, I got in at 1.94785. It's going to about 30 pips. About 29 pips is what I'm looking at. This can go up and hit this level right up in here. I might go ahead and take off one of my lots. Wait and see if that occurs. Like at the 95.08 level, I'll probably take off my 1-to-1 risk-reward trade. If it can get up to 95.08, but that's certainly looking at as a buy right now. Dollar CAD I'll watch close up in here. This is one to where I'll consider closing out that Canadian position. If this goes to a negative 20, I'll consider just closing out that Canadian position. I like the fact that Canadian's breaking through these key levels today. I apologize if I'm going too fast, folks, but sometimes if the market's moving, you don't really have a lot of time to go slow. But dollar CAD was another one that I was looking at this morning for any types of breaks above consolidation. All right, so let's continue on in here. Let's see here. The dollar's still going down. Seeing quite a lot of strength here. Pound dollar. Pound dollar is another one that I wanted to show you here this morning. Somebody just asked, should I be out of the euro dollar trade? If you got into the euro dollar trade at the market, when we got in, we were only risking about 22 pips or 23 pips or something like that. You should most definitely be out of the euro dollar trade right now, without a doubt. You should have taken profits off the table on that one. So that one you should be good to go on that. You should have no worries on euro dollar. You should have taken your 20 off the table. Don't give that one back to the market. Dollar Swiss, somebody just asked. Dollar Swiss is the one that we were waiting for it to break above this trend line. You know, we're looking at on an hourly time frame. You know, so if you want to wait and see if the 1 hour totals can make a break above like 95. You can look for a little bit more confirmation. There's nothing wrong with that on a Friday if you're going to be a little bit more conservative and you want to use a little bit more confirmation. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, last thing we want to do here on a Friday is give back a huge amount of pips. It was a good start to our trading day on the euro dollar, but you know, we certainly don't want to give anything back. Jeff says dollar CAD will hover at this level until 10 a.m. then expect a move after that. Going into 10 a.m. I was kind of hoping that breaking through that resistance level could bring it on, but I think I know what you're looking at, kind of the pending home sales and all this news coming out here at 10 a.m. We'll see what happens with it. I like the fact that these totals were showing such a nice little balance as it was breaking through. But good call. Welcome, Jeff. Nice little addition there. Options expiration. I thought must be, for some reason, I used to be an options trader. Oh, I'm thinking of standardized options because I thought the Friday options expired at noon. All right, let me kind of check and see what else is going on in here. Exotic options. Does PitView trade WTI? No. Oil's not on there. So I'm kind of looking at some of these charts. Let me take these objects off this list. Too many things going on. You can tell my ADD is kicking in a little bit in the class today. As of right now, we don't have any gold or any other commodities on as far as PitView goes. It's right now it only tracks the currency pairs. Let's see here. Looking at some of these other little pairs here. Dollar Swiss is still showing a nice buy and balance. Euro dollar is starting to come up a little bit. Dollar CAD's coming down. Still looking at these 5-minute totals. If there's a huge sell imbalance here, I might go ahead and close that out. Still looking at dollar CAD. If it goes to like a -20, I might save a couple of pips on that position. I didn't even think about options expiration. Let's see here. Euro coming back up. All right. I'm going to keep these I'm just kind of checking out where my trades stand right now. Let's see, Jeff says, good data at 10 a.m. should shoot us up. Fairly good data this morning, just my 2 cents. Yeah, you know, we've been looking at Canadian here when you kind of zoom out on this. You know, one of the reasons why we've loved trading dollar Canadian in either direction is, for one thing, you know, we had Pelosi come out over here. You know, we were short dollar Canadian for a nice little down move right in here. We were actually short before Pelosi came out. And a lot of people are, you know, they went bullish on Canadian because they thought Pelosi was less dovish than expected, basically not coming out with any type of easing process or type of easing news, and kind of challenging the market and stating that in fact, we have it here on our screenshot from Monday. We talked about Pelosi kind of throwing a wrench into people expecting more dovishness from the central bank. And, you know, him coming out and stating that there's other factors to consider other than solely targeting inflation was people took that obviously as less dovish on Canadian where it came to the downside. I always like to remind people it doesn't change the fact that they're still a bit bearish over there on you have to be a little bit bearish on dollar Canadian after lowering their interest rates. So the fact that he was less dovish than expected brought Canadian all the way down. But as it comes back up, one of the other things that I'm going to look for is I would love dollar Canadian to come right back up here into these highs and look for opportunities to short it again. You know, we got this nice little ABC kind of working up in here, and that's my hope is that this turns into some type of C correction, basically like selling and buying into dips. I like buying it down here near these lows, but I like selling it if it comes up near these highs, that whole range-bound type of scenario that it has. Jeff says Pelosi was talking out of both sides of his mouth. Is that really that's not, you know, we are talking about heads of central banks here, so that's not anything really new to us, though, is it? The central bank, you're talking out of both sides of their mouths. Yeah, that's pretty standard in the industry. It seems like nowadays. Super Mario, Miss Yellen, you know, it seems like everybody's doing that same type of giving that same type of guidance, if you will. Okay, let me come over here to pound dollar. And, dollar Swiss still showing a nice buy and balance. Okay, let me go over here to pound dollar. Show you another thing that I was looking at here this morning. You know, pound from a fundamental standpoint is one that we also like to look for being buyers to kind of offset a lot of the dollar risk that we sometimes have when we go long the dollar. This is another one to where it came down and it shot down along with the euro. Swiss really didn't react as much yesterday, but it came down here right near this little 78.6 level right down in through here. With the pound, this is one that I really do favor trading the pound to the upside. It's been one of the ones that have trumped, the pound has really trumped the trend of that dollar strength that we've been seeing as of late. And this sell-off right down in here on the pound, it had more to do with dollar strength and also the euro selling off here yesterday. I saw it coming down towards these 78.6 levels. And when we're in this type of retracement scenario here on the pound, here, let me change this over to pound here, pound dollar. When we have those types of, large sell imbalances taking place, and with the pound dollar, one thing that I would look out for here is that we can be a little bit more cautious on this, but obviously it came right back, it came above the 5,400 level. It's been kind of consolidated in between these levels right down in through here. It's also, it's inside our retracement zone. If you're looking for kind of a contrarian trade or something contrary to dollar strength, which obviously has been kind of a key driver in the last 2 days, dollar strength has been. If you're looking for something that's kind of would take you outside the bounds of the dollar, almost we sometimes consider it to be like a hedging type of strategy, then if the pound can make a break, and here I can take these retracements off because we're actually going to be looking at this resistance level up in here. A lot of profit taking occurring right through here on the pound because it did have a nice swing to the upside, thanks in part to Mr. Carney. If we do see it, if you're looking for something as far as a swing trade goes, if we do see the pound start to go up and break through these highs right in here, right through these resistance levels where the dollar strength is kind of taking control, if we see a break of resistance, if we're looking at an hourly chart, it could be a close above. But if we also see a +5 on the 1 hour totals, so that's why I have the 1 hour totals in here. If I see a +5 on the 1 hour totals or a +20 on 5-minute totals, those could both kind of confirm a nice bounce to the upside on the pound. There we go. Putting our stop on here would be, we'd try to put our stop right below this swing low right in here, which is right at the 78.6 retracement. Low 1.53827. And depending on where your entry would be, you can look for a nice little 1-to-1 risk reward back to the upside. Go. Let's chart back down. There we go. We're going to trade. Put it right in here. Euro dollar, we can kind of erase that one because we just took profits off the table on that. Let's go around the horn here. Sure, we're at on all these other ones. Yeah, dollar yen, it's still retracing right back in through here. So it's still sitting right in this consolidation. Euro dollar's heading back down to the downside. Here, let me check euro dollar over in here. Here I can erase some of these objects also, since I already have these listed on our little trading sheet. There we go. Euro dollar. Euro dollar just showing a nice little bit of a buy imbalance. Dollar Canadian still long. Yeah, there we go. So we still got this 5-minute chart up on here. You know, zero comes back up and forms kind of lower highs. It hasn't, you know, it retraced back to like 38.2. One thing that, you know, if we're let's say scalping the euro dollar, one thing that we look for is for it to reset. It already came back on the 5-minute totals. It already went green. If you wanted to double dip on this, which I'm not going to, but you know, people are still looking for those sell trades on the euro dollar to the downside. You know, if we see those negative 20s occur again, you know, and starting to break down more, which it is breaking down right now, you can look for a negative 20 on these 5-minute totals, and you could look for a further downward movement on euro dollar. Just try to be cautious because, you know, obviously we found support right in through here. However, you know, euro dollar does have room to go down. You know, that's one currency that we do like trading aggressively, don't get me wrong. So for right now, I'm probably going to just take, you know, I'm just going to kind of leave euro dollar alone since we've already captured a profit on that. You know, we've had some nice profits this week, so I don't want to give too much back. You know, I'm profitable on, let's see here, where's my trades at right now? Let's see, I'm up 11 on Swiss, still up about 17 or 18 pips here. Down on the other part of my Swiss trade. Not doing too bad thus far. Follow Jeff's advice. We'll wait till that 10 a.m. hour come along. I'm kind of going to hold. I'm going to kind of go into a holding pattern here for just a second. Sorry, I just had to get a quick drink of coffee there. Let's see here. Dollar CAD is still sitting there right at the 2,500 level. Kudos to Jeff. He basically said it wouldn't move until 10 o'clock. Dollar yen still sitting there right in between those levels. Dollar Swiss is still right up by that 9,500 level. One thing we talked about during class yesterday was we talked about the fact that the Euro Swiss, when you looked at how far down the euro dollar went down yesterday, and the fact that the Swiss did not necessarily make the same type of, it didn't really make as much of the bullish movement. You know, we had a little bit of a bullish move on the dollar versus the Swiss, but it really didn't match the euro at all. That has to be a bit disconcerting if you're like the Swiss National Bank, because, you know, one thing that you would look for is, you know, kind of the fight of the Swiss trying to maintain as the euro goes into negative territory and gets fought off and gets weaker. You would expect the Swiss with a lot of their, you know, with a lot of the kind of the intervention that occurs from larger liquidity providers and banks in the market, you would kind of expect the Swiss to make that same type of larger move to the upside that the euro made to the downside. That's one of the reasons why I favor the Swiss going up so much as far as versus the dollar. You know, it's not a must occurrence, but it's something that we would like to see whenever we see the euro make such precipitous moves to the downside as it did yesterday. And you can see the euro is still making some nice little downward spiking moves here. I'm just kind of waiting till the 10 a.m. hour here. That's going to be kind of the end of class. As far as trades go for right now, this is another day where I would say once noon occurs, once noon hits here in the U.S., I would probably not be looking to do any scalping here today. Dollar Swiss is one we're already long. Pound dollar, we bought into a resistance break. Where we can buy into a resistance break if we were looking for something to kind of contrary to that dollar strength, if we want to kind of offset the dollar positions we have. The dollar yen is the only one that I haven't talked as much about here yet, and that's because I'm already long dollar yen with a little bit of profit in the trade. I do like the idea of kind of we have, it's not perfect, but I already have the lines in here. This little ABC correction. As the yen gets up here near these 120 levels, that's why I set that up as a one-to-one risk reward. So if it does get up to that 78.6 level, I will be looking to potentially be a seller if I get my profits taken off the table here. If not, if I get stopped out right down in here, we could look to trade the dollar yen pair back to the upside if it comes back now down near these levels. But if you look at this, what you would look for is, man, I can't talk today. I need more coffee, man, or something stronger. Phil, what you got over there? As far as a sell entry, once it gets to the 78.6 level, that would be kind of it's not a perfect Gartley, don't get me wrong. We would like for it to be much more harmonic than that, but we do like selling into, buying and selling into dips in the market whenever it gets to the upper or lower parts of these ranges. So if it goes up here and scores like a -5 on the 1 hour totals, that generally is what we look for, or a -20 on the 5-minute totals. I'd be looking to take another short position on dollar yen, putting my stop right up above this high. This high right up in here is 119.858. And then if we do go short up near those upper levels, then we would be looking to take a limit 1 and limit 2 off the table. Excuse me for 1 second. There's one thing I want to do real quick. Let's see here. Let's look at a dollar Canadian right up in here. It went to that -20 level. Kind of watching this a little bit closer. Said I would probably consider maybe closing this position if it went to a -20, and that's where we're at right now. Kind of looking at this candle here. Let's look at the 5-minute candles right in through here. See what's shaking. Looking at where the home sales came in at. $1.7. Obviously, it's not coming down too much. Pending home sales came out a little bit less than expected, down 0.7%. down 20. Yeah, let's not give too much back here, Mr. Canadian. Should have taken my initial gut reaction on that. I'm just going to close out dollar CAD. Went to negative 20. I'm already kind of heavily into dollars here today, so I don't want to get too nuts. So that makes me about net even for the day, or as far as those short-term trades go. And still enjoying a little bit of a let's see, where's my yen at? Still enjoying a little bit of a pop on dollar Swiss. Home sales causes a little bit of a reaction from the market. I don't expect it to be a big 50 pipper or anything, but I'd rather just get out at kind of a net even on those two trades. Probably jumped the gun a little bit too fast there on that dollar CAD, but I was looking for a break through that level. I'm going to go ahead and put this in. Limit 1, if we do get a sell in on the dollar yen. And remember, I'm already long, so limit 1 would be a 1-to-1 risk reward. And then limit 2, 118.824. There we go. Clip that. There we go. All right. So we got that working for us. Very nice. All right, so let's go around the horn here. Let's see where we're at. So dollar yen still up. Let's see, I got about 20 pips into that trade right now. Good review. Let's take off my market watch there. It's got about 20 pips. Got about 12, 13 pips in my dollar Swiss. I'm down about 6 pips on another portion of it. So dollar yen's looking okay. Dollar Swiss still looking good. I still like the fact that it does not, even when there's bad news in the U.S., dollar Swiss tends not to retrace as far. So I'm still long on that position. That's one that I favor dollar Swiss going up over the long term. Dollar CAD, got out of this one. Kind of took me out based on the fact that it was going to a negative imbalance. I didn't want to lose the full 30 pips or so that I had on it, so I went ahead and closed it out. I still do like, I mean, if you are looking forward on dollar Canadian, you know, I still do like the idea of going long dollar CAD, looking for it to kind of make some type of retracement back up here towards the upside, especially if dollar strength comes back into play here today. But that's where I'm kind of going to leave things here. We've you look at, where our account's been. This is our little tracking account here. We're well above the 300 levels here. Got about 80 pips on the week right now as far as profits go. We had about 100 after that euro dollar trade, and then we went back down to about 80 pips after that little dollar CAD we took out. But I'm going to kind of leave things here for right now. Plus I feel like I'm tripping over my words here a little bit. But yeah, your instructor after a long week of trading live every morning sometimes gets a little discombobulated. But if you do have any questions, shoot me an email. I'll see you all again on Monday morning, bright and early, to reset class. Remember, it is Friday, so if you want to kind of, there's nothing wrong with backing away from the market for a little bit if you've already captured some profits for the week. I got a couple of trades that I'm holding on to right now, but don't be afraid if you want to kind of put the close sign on your trading business day. I always kind of recommend on Fridays when it gets to be about the noon hour to maybe let things go a little bit, and certainly don't look for a huge amount of liquidity to hit the market in the afternoon on a Friday. There's always exceptions to that rule, but that's kind of what I look for on Friday afternoons, especially when you're using a tool that tracks liquidity providers. With a lack of participants, you can start to see some whipsaw actions occur. If you are looking for short-term trades, here's that euro dollar that we were looking at earlier. It is starting to come back and retrace a bit. If it can get up here into our retracement zone, if you are looking for second-hand opportunities on euro dollar, if it can get it back up here into this retracement zone, that would be probably something I might look at, is selling it in this retracement zone and looking for large sell-in balances to occur. But other than that, just try to be smart and don't give back too much here in the market today. So that's where I'm at. So for me, the rest of the day, I'll be in front of my computer for about another hour. Then I got to go run some errands and then get prepared for 50 Shades of Gray this evening, which sounds just awful. So I will see everybody bright and early on Monday morning. Thanks for coming in today, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.